Throw those play points into the garbage, and let's see if we can make our money back. There we go. Let's hop in to match number 1. This is a mulligan. We don't have a threat. This we can keep. Bottom. Misty? Okay. Not quite the draw we were wanting there, but we'll take it. They go fetching. Blood Crypt. Shocks it in, meaning that they're probably killing off this noble. Yep. Okay, so it's Jund, and let me guess, Ren and 6? Yep. Fun, fun. Gets their Bloodstained Mire back, so that way they have their 3rd land drop. Go ahead and drop out this Spell Skite. And we say go. So they could ping with Ren and 6 plus Bolt. Bloodstained Mire. Fetch and shock. Lily. Trophy. Okay. Get that forest into play. And they bring Mire back. Try to overload the Ren and 6 so that way they have to have more removal. Okay, so they have the bolt. They have the removal that they need. But they've used push, trophy, and bolt so far. We just need one more pump spell. There's the ping. There's the Mire. Green one, Goif Boy. Okay. That's great for us. Tap the newly controlled for mana. Animate this one. Groundswell. Get rid of creatures and lands. Have second trophy or abrupt decay. Cycles a Baron more. Now needs push. Back him. And there we go. Game ends due to poison counters. Not right now. Thank you very much. Bring in Goyfs, bring in Spell Skype, board out. A pair of elves. A pair of scale ups. And mutagenics. Guess we can bring in one Veil here as a way to stop Colgan's commands. Yeah. Colgan's commands, fatal pushes, terminates. Croxus. Croxus doesn't target. Spell Pierce is kind of dead. It's a good hand if we can keep these nobles around. The issue is it's Jund. That's an awful hand. This is keepable. We'll bottom Become Immense and a mutagenic growth. Overgrown Tomb, shock it in, pay cost, Thoughtseize. No. Get this basic, bait out their push. Interesting. They shocked with no follow through. Complete land, they have black and green. And Goyf is a 1/2. We pump and swing. No, we just play our own Goyf and pass. Not swinging into a 1/2 with a 1/1. That's not good for them. So we can Might of Hold, swing. Hold up Vines in case they have removal. Cool. Something tells me that this Goyf is just going to be blocking. Okay. I should have also been swinging with Goyf here. So that'll happen. Our Goyf will grow. Assassin's Trophy. Good try, opponent. Goyf takes damage, our Goyf grows, and we can pass the turn. Dot seizes us, sure. I mean, you take the Become Immense, right? Because if you take Mutagenic, we can Become Immense. Okay. Swing with both. The Goyf's faster. And Goyf is a 6/7. Well, it's a 4/5. They finally hit their third land. They go down to 7. Shocks down to 5. Goes to 4. To Plague Engineer. Okay. Picks off Glistener Elf. Or picks off the Blighted Agent, I mean. And can block our Goyf unless we have Distortion Strike. We don't. I mean, we forced the block here, right? Because, yeah, it has Death Touch, but whatever. Windswept pass. Now, if opponent has Lily here, we basically are in a losing spot. Okay, bolts our Listener Elf, that's fine. Dryad Arbor. Make it so that Pleatland is only good for drawing. Opponent goes down to 1. Opponent's dead to this Dryad Arbor. They draw a card off of Pleatland. Can we rip Distortion Strike off the top? Just make our Dryad Arbor unblockable? Anger of the Gods. All right. Spell Skite. It's a creature. We now just need to draw a pump spell. uh. Maelstrom Pulse. Sure. There's the pump spell. Because they couldn't pulse it, so they had to anger it. That's funny. They don't have 4 mana. Okay, they go for the Croak, so that's fine. We'll have to discard. Okay, there's a pump. They draw a card. There's their 4th mana for black, black, red, red. Oh, they go with a Bloodbraid instead. Bloodbraid hits Lily. Okay. Each player discards a card. I mean, if I'm going to be discarding a card anyway. Opponent discards Inquisition to a Lily. Smacks us for 3. And at this point, opponents got us. Because we can draw a creature, they can make us sack. Hit us for 3, replay Kroxa, she'll hit us for 3. And then they'll have lethal on board. But, make them do it. Yep. Why is opponent not casting Kroxa from yard? As soon as opponent casts Kroxa, there's literally nothing we can draw off the top here. Why? We go to 5, and now that's in your graveyard. Okay, they have a Goyf. Okay. That's fine. Again, you didn't need to show me what was in your hand. You could have just gone for the Kroxa. bring out the spell pierces, bring in the scale ups again. And this time we're on the play, so we just need to be a bit faster. I would love to take the play. And it's got a Goyf, and it's got a Spell Skite. I dislike the Dryad Arbor. But that's fine, we don't need Dryad Arbor till turn 3. No Infect threat, however. Mulligan once. This hand's a lot better. It's still not great. We'll bottom the Arbor. Hope we can hit our second land here. This will be a fetch and a shock. And play out this elf and pass the turn. Let me guess. Blackleaf Cliffs, Thoughtseize? What? Play out this Spell Skite. Get in for 1 Infect. Opponent takes a poison counter. Stomping Ground, shocks it in. Camping Sphere. Cool. Really don't agree with bringing that in against Infect. But that could be my own bias. Opponent's at 6 Infect. Opponent needs a way to kill our Glistener Elf. Or place down a blocker. And Plague Engineers. Yep. Name's Elf. Dryad Arbor is a forest of Dryad. I'm gonna post a Dryad Arbor right here. Got that in a Goyf. Just switch our axis of play. K command. 2 damage to any target. Target player discards a card. Okay. Swing with both. Goes for the Goif block, which is understandable. Well, no. It'll land into the yard, so that way Goif's still a 2. Shrink the Goif, grow our Arbor. They trade. Opponent goes down to 11. Okay. What's our worst case scenario here? Lily force us to sack. We sack Spell Skite. Okay. Yep. We sack Skite here. Let's see if we can't get in for 1 with this Dryad Arbor at Lily. Force him to have second Lily here. Cool. So now we have a Blossoming Defense in case they Lily. The problem is Lily is target player, sacks a creature, so Blossoming Defense doesn't stop Liliana. Give our thing hexproof, but then they get back their Arbor. They can now shock this in and Kuruxa. They choose to just put it in tapped. So Dryad Arbor's dying next turn. Give it +2/+2. Opponent's down to 8. So Plague Engineer names Dryad. Like I've always said, this Jund matchup is always difficult. It's very fun to try to navigate. I'm a little sad about how slow our opponent's playing here, but it's understandable. They go for the Bloodbraid instead here. Bloodbraid cascades into a Kuruxa. Oh, they pay the 1 for the Damping Sphere. Kuruxa hits us for 3. It did not escape, so it goes to the graveyard. Bloodbraid comes down. So we need a second +6. They hold the elf back. Lands they go. I'm gonna force you to decide. Do you go for the Croaks that hit us for 3 and land a 6/6? We need 2 draws here off the top. Not gonna happen. I think we can only draw 1 card a turn. Because the direct play here is just bring back Kroxa, but they never did that last time. Okay. Lothus is an interesting choice. Hold the Windswept. Trying to avoid that. So we could now trade. I'm not opposed to that. Oh, they couldn't. So they didn't have 5 other cards. They still don't. Now they do. Clothis eat anything from our graveyard that isn't a land. Yep. We go down to 8. Now they can Roxa take us down to 5 and have lethal on board. They're on a very interesting Jund list. Trophy, nothing to trophy. We take 2. Again, opponents just slow rolling. Shocks in the Blood Crypt. There's now nothing that Windswept Heath can go and get. They draw a card here. So we take 2 from Clothis, we take 2 from Chandra. We just need to see if they realize that they can cast Kroxa from graveyard. The second they do that, we concede. Exiles a Lily, should just hit us for 2 here. Don't think about this, just hit us for 2. Oh my god, they're playing it. Okay. Opponent feels like winning more. We'll go ahead and mark this as a loss, because we're not coming back from this, but I'm still gonna make our opponent, because like they have lethal on board, they Clothis, they uptick Chandra, they don't deal damage. They just had lethal this turn and didn't feel like playing lethal. Well, play out this elf and pass the turn and see if our opponent wants to kill us. Because opponents had plenty of opportunity to. They eat the mutagenic out of the yard. We go down to 2. They uptick Chandra. They bolt us. Okay. And then they drop the GGs. I'll just give him the GGs. All right. Onwards to match 2. We will gladly take the play. Anne's got turn 1. Hierarch, Inkmoth Nexus. Turn 3, 8, 9. Sounds pretty good to me. Opponent mulligan to 6. We'll go get a basic forest here in case this is something crazy like Panza. Play a hierarch and pass the turn. Razor Verge, so probably Devoted Devastation. We need another pump spell off the top here. Spell Pierce might do it. Ghost Quarter. Oh no. So this is some form of green-white taxes running Anadorks? Blue 1, Blighted Agent. Pass the turn. This way, if opponent tries to do something like that, we can tell them no. So they do pay the 2. Sure. We'll gladly go searching. So at this point, we are needing to find... We're needing to crack this Waterlog Grove. Either that or hit a hexproof. We can hit a hexproof effect for this Inkmoth Nexus, will be golden. Groundswell, that is not one. Let's draw ourselves another card. Sure, we'll play out a Glistener Elf. Has path number 2. No point to shuffle when we know that we only run 2 basics and we have them both out. Destroys our ink moth. And then scoos. We don't have a creature in the yard still. Agent. Have path number 3, bud. I was joking. Jesus. Okay. So you can eat the stuff. It doesn't grow your spell skite. It doesn't grow your scavenging ooze. Well, there's our blossoming defense. I mean, we're not getting there by not doing anything. We'll kick it to 9. When it goes down to 11. Then they eat a mutagenic. Okay. Scoos gets in for 3. Temple Garden. Shock it in. They do. Renegade Rallier. Eats a scale up? Sure. So they hit us for 6 here, but we kill them if they do that, possibly. Nope, they now have a blocker. This is probably gain 3 life. Flicker Renegade Rallier. Can eat their hierarch if they so choose. Probably won't because they probably want this hierarch off their revolt trigger here. It's ghost. Okay. Mm. Anybody want to run the math of them having triple path? Because that's impressive. So they seem to be like a green-white flicker type thing. I believe most of their stuff's going to be creatures. Okay. So let's think. We need to try to be as fast as possible, but at the same time still holding up interaction. Man. I'm still just stunned at the fact that they had a hand with 3 paths in it. No, I would hate to be on the play. Nope. Can't cast any of this. This is as good as it's gonna get. Forest Hierarch pass the turn. Razor Verge Vial. So it is a green-white Vial type deck. So at least we were right on the money with that style. Green Spell Skite. Vial upticks to 1 here. They probably try to play out Talia. If they have it. Interesting. No 2-drop. Land? We'll go ahead and fetch and shock here. Blighted Agent. Pass the turn. Yeah, we'll pass. There's no point to poke them for 1. Well, they don't have anything that has haste. And Ghost Quarter. Knight of Autumn. Chooses. Assuming destroy target artifact. How about no? And scale up our Blighted Agent. And swing for 7 Infect. And play out a Glistener Elf and pass the turn. Vials in. Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisps, they're Dryad. Okay. Temple Garden. Shocks it in. This comes back, destroys our spell Skite. Yep. Opponent has Path, we say yes. And now they can Ghost Quarter us. You see what they want to get rid of first. Okay, they like their Flicker Wisp. Lighted Agent. One's got 2 cards left in hand. Hoping to dodge Path to Exile for 2 turns here. Ghost Quarter can hit one of our forests. Does so. Opponent gets in for 3. Vial was upticked to 4. Which makes me go, they have Restoration Angel to flicker their Flicker Wisp. Yep. Resto comes down. They flicker Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp flickers our Blighted Agent. Blighted Agent will come back at the end step. We'll put that into play tapped. Blighted Agent comes in. They can do that one more time. Okay, that's a Thalia. They can hit us for 6. Opponent goes to 9. And play out this Ink Moth and pass the turn. You no longer need this Hierarch. They have to keep back a Flicker Wisp or a Resto as a blocker. Cool. We were drawing vines. Beautiful. Run it back. I'm assuming they'll take the play here. And it's got a threat. And it's got a scale up plus a blossoming defense. Not bad. And leads off with Ghost Quarter. Hooded Foothills, Fetch and Shock. And play out this Glistener Elf. File gets uptick to 1. They crack their Windswept. Probably goes and gets Temple Garden. Yep. White have. Oh, white 1. The Yonin Arbiter. That's a card. Offer up the 1. They don't take it. Upticks file to 2. Second Ghost Quarter. And Ghost Quarter targets our Ink Moth. I disagree wholeheartedly with that swing. So if they have Vile or I mean, we see what they've got, right? This will resolve. Charming Prince. I'm assuming they're gonna go. Okay, they go with the Scry. Makes sense. They're trying to find an answer. See if they're gonna be stuck on 1 land or what they want this vial to be on. One bottom, 1 top. And then I'm assuming this Prince is going under the bus. Yep. Hierarch. Pass the turn. Because we couldn't have paid for Path anyway. Not like we have anything for it to go searching for, but that's besides the point. Ghost Quarter. How nice, opponent. Triple Ghost Quarter. Vials in. Thalia? Sure. And gets in for 2, yeah. First strike damage, normal damage. Opponent has a vial to do something with. They've got 2 cards in hand. They uptick it to 3. And they hit their second land. Animate. Give it +1/+2. Move into the combat step. And swing for 3. Activates Vial. Assuming this is a Flicker Wisp. Knight of Autumn. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Blossoming Defense. Cool. Opponent goes to 6 Infect. And they draw a card off of Canopy. Still at 1 land with Vial on 3. Don't think you're winning this one, opponent. It's possible for them to. Don't get me wrong. Swings with the kitty. We're not going to block the kitty. I forgot to pay for Arbiter. That's fine. Exalted. Have something. As the path. I guess we should have let damage happen, take him to 9. Because once we take him to 9, then we can do the exact same thing next turn. Hierarch, sure. Swings. We'll take 2. Or 3. Distortion Strike off the top. Dismember. Okay. What does Dismember buy us here? Not a lot. Ghost Quarter. White one voice. Cool. Voice resolves. We have to block her, we die. And at this point, we jump block. We could give it +2/+2. They'd get 2 elementals, which would then be 3 each. We're not coming out from that. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they understand the typo. So if we had instead just let that try to hit for the get them to 9, then next turn our play is swing for lethal. They have to do something about it. That's just me getting greedy. 100%. That's just me getting greedy. Okay. Here's match number 3. Hand's gonna threaten a bit of pump. Mulligan. Keep. Bottom vines. Prairie Stream. That's a very unique card. Waterlogged Grove Hierarch pass turn. Flooded Strand. Okay. Moth Hierarch could get in for 2. We need one more good removal spell here. Or protection spell, I mean. Field of Ruin. Unfortunate. Assuming destroying this. Yep. Shouldn't have swung with the hierarch there, because then it could have animated and blossoming defense. Opponents at 17. 4, 8, 10, 12, 14. Hit you for 12, take you down to 5. Cool. As Cryptic Mana, Jace the Mind Sculptor. And then they go for the Brainstorm. Healed Dryad Arbor Beatdown. Blossoming defense. Blossoming defense. Sure. What a rip. That's fine. Opponent takes 3, goes down to 2. They have 2 cards in hand. They need a blocker. Or they need Supreme Verdict. And plays Field of Ruin. Aha! Who needs Infect to win the game versus Control? Okay, it's Control. Spellskite comes in, Veils come in, Mystical Dispute comes in. What comes out is some number of scale ups, some number of vines, and a couple mutagenics. Actually, Distortion Strike. I really only have Snapcaster. Hands nuts. And 3 threats, a counterspell. What's not to like? course I want to pay the life. We've got a turn 1 Glistener Elf. We don't have a turn 2 kill, but we've got a turn 1 Glistener Elf. It's a tapped Prairie Stream. Okay. Good old Stoneforge. So I don't want to play this Blossoming or this Blighted Agent without having backup. So we will go Ink Moth. Combat, swing for 1. There we go. Kills off their Stoneforge, so now they have to hardcast their swords. And they pitched a Shark Typhoon. There's a Field of Ruin. Assuming you go ahead and field this now. While I'm tapped out. Yep. I want to make it a creature. Because I can. Doesn't change the effect of Field of Ruin. But, got nothing better to do with the mana. Sure. Did you think that was all the threats that I had, opponent? Okay. I'm going for the Snap Path. Cool. I have the green mana open. Not quite lethal. But a pretty quick clock. Okay, they want to put Force of Negation back on top. And then they play a Sword of Feast and Famine. Okay. And so they'll get this Waterlogged Grove out of our hands, which is sad for us. But they don't draw a card. So they still just have 1 card in hand. We take 4. We have the winning clock here. Okay. You get an 8 Infect. Opts. It's Path. Unfortunate. We now need a red off the top here. Whether it be Ink Moth Nexus or Blighted Agent is fine. That won't get us there. This is a turn 2. Well, it's actually turn 3 because we go turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Glistener Elf, hold up Veil Protection. Say we do not rush into this versus counter magic. Well, yes, giving them one more draw is not ideal for us. Especially considering how this Veil of Summer is not protection. With that, however, we are golden. Listener Elf pass the turn. Hold the Hierarch back. They go fetching for a Prairie Stream. Field of Ruin. Have force. Okay, they have force. Well, there's Cryptic, or there's Field. Okay. Trying to cut us off of blue other than we have Snap, and then they get their own blue. They did that as a way to shuffle, hoping that we don't have another threat in hand. Hi, bud. Three fairy. How about no? I really don't like that card. Doesn't really allow us to play fun magic. Cool. And our opponent for 6. Opponent goes to 6 Infect. We pass the turn back to them. Let's see what they can do. Stoneforge. Yeah. I can't counter that with a Spell Pierce. Feast and Famine. Batter Skull. You know, they probably have Feast in hand. opponent goes to 9 Infect. All right. I guess we don't have a basic, so this is just shuffle. They have a plains now. Swing for 2. You kind of sort of got a block. Second main, play out this Ink Moth, pass turn, have a counter magic. Okay. Let's see what we would draw. We'd have Blossoming Defense. Cool. All right, got the control matchup. Man, oh man. These have been some long matches. 18 minutes for match 1, 18 minutes for match 2, 13 minutes for match 3. All right, here comes match 4. Let's hop into it. Turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Arbor Elf. We'll mulligan. This Arbor is just a terrible card in our opener. Keep this, bottom a Windswept Heath. Okay, they crack our Windswept Heath of their own. Arbor Elf. Anza. We go and get this basic forest. Because I am not getting blown out of the water by Blood Moon. I say that. It's still totally possible for us to get blown out of the water by Blood Moon. Red 1. Stomp. Okay. I'm fine with you using a bit of removal on our creatures. That's actually very good for us. We will fetch, get this breeding pool, shock it in. So we have access to blue mana for a turn. And they have the bolt. Cool. There goes 2 pieces of our opponent's removal. Luckily, we kept a very, very threat-dense hand. There's that Blood Moon that we were so worried about. Arbor Elf gets in for 1. Opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. Play out this Hierarch and pass the turn. Removal piece number 3. Okay. And brings back a Bone Crusher here. Very unfortunate for us. We don't block. Not like it really matters. Because second Bone Crusher. Play out this mountain. Play out a Glistener Elf. We're gonna hold back to try to block one of these Bone Crushers. Hoping they don't have a Glory Bringer. Okay, that's a Colossus. That's not as terrible as it could be. It's still not great for us. They turn 1 sideways. They eat our mutagenic. We go down to 7. Okay, swing with a Bone Crusher. Again, we have to block and mutagenic. Play out this mountain, pass the turn. And we're dead to Colossus in 3. So we need... There's nothing we can rip off the top. Oh, we're dead to Colossus next turn. Cool. We dead to Colossus. This is what I'd like to bring in. We'll shave on a couple of those, a couple of these. A scale up and 2 vines. Keep in an elf and a mutagenic because we've already taken out the spell pierces. Okay. Nope. Yep. And turn 2's them. Unless they have Arbor Elf. Okay. So that is our opponent's out is turn 1 Arbor Elf. Else we're on to game 3. I like our odds. Or turn 1 Bolt. So 8 and 60. Windswept Heath. Cool, we win. Scale it up out of bolt range. I guess if they're Naya somehow. Cool. Onwards to game 3. Like I said, that hand turn 2'd Panza unless they had removal or an Arbor Elf. Weather the Storm. No, they don't cast a lot of spells. So it's at max 2 mana gain 6. Not terrible, but not fantastic. And doesn't do much. It's not a turn 2 like we had last time, but since we're on the draw, the odds of us having turn 2 against Panza is extremely slim. I like us having a basic forest plus a hierarch here. Windswept cracks probably tries to Blood Moon us. I mean, it's either Blood Moon or Stomp, right? It's Stomp. Okay. They get in for 1. Spindlehaven's good here because we can tap it for green while it's still alive and not dead to a Blood Moon. Windswept. Cracks it. It's Stomping Ground. 4 mana. Okay. So we could swing with this elf. It's not what we want to do, though. Utopia Sprawls. So they now have 6 mana? Cinder Vines. Yeah, baby. We'll take that trade. We've got so many Glistener Elves, it doesn't matter. Blood Moon. Sounds good. And now we can spread our damage. No. Blood Braid, Cascades. Oh, God. What a hit. Because Anger resolves, then Blood Braid resolves. That's just awful for us. We'll play out this Mountain Dryad. And now we get to play the game of we both sit here and look pretty. Yep. Because this taps for red, right? Yep. Seasoned Pyromancer. Pitches a card, draws 2. Harbor Elf. Has 1 card in hand. Boot up our Inkmoth Nexus, hit him for 6. There we go. Get our second green source. Block the most damage possible. We take 3, go to 12. Take 3, go to 9. Has the bolt. Hit him for 5. We take 6, go to 3. Holds back the Pyromancer. Okay. There's nothing we can draw that'll get us out of this at this point. They swing out. We have to block the Blood Braid. Taking 3, going to 2. Show me the bolt. Seasoned Pyromancer goes for the dig. They've got mana if they hit something like Chandra. Yep. Ponza will do as Ponza does and absolutely destroy us. Okay. These have been long games. So, double threat. Problem is we're lacking in green sources. Bottom the arbor. Don't be a discard deck. Okay, it's Storm. Potential for it to be just as bad for us. But this hand also potentially just destroys Storm. Like that. Ascension. Oh, baby. They're trying to ascend. I feel sorry that they die, though. They don't die. They could have the Force of Negation. They didn't. Okay. Pyromancer's Ascension. Dismembers in, Distortion Strikes out. Spell Skite. We'll keep. Do we want to bring in Force of Vigor? Do you think this is Ascension Aria? To the point where Force is good? I don't dislike bringing in Weather the Storm here. Let's bring in those 6. We need to cut 3 more. Let's bring in those 5. We need to cut 3 more. Scale up in 2 vines. Yeah. Serum Visions, put 2 on top. Breeding Pool, shock it in, play out this Glistener Elf, pass the turn. Make them question if they want to tap out again. They go for the Manamorphose here. Are they just gonna storm off enough to the point? Looks like they're gonna try to storm off enough to the point where we're dead to Opts. Okay. One on top draws. Grape shot. I'm assuming this is 4 at us. 1 at our buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're sending 3 at the Glistener Elf. No point to pump. We take 2. Pendlehaven there is not great for us. Play out a Blighted Agent and pass the turn. They go for a Serum Visions. Put 2 cards on bottom. Plays out Canal. Huh. That's an interesting card. Make it 4 Infect. Pass the turn. They shock it in. Electromancer sounds good. Opt. And goes for the Pyretic now. They have 3 red. They draw a card. Okay. We can go that. Pendlehaven. Keep the one that's not tapped. And combat swing for 2. Make it 4. They've got lots of mana, but only 2 cards. One, two, three. Spell Pierce. And game's over. All right. So we managed to beat Storm. We managed to beat Control. Our losses were to Jund and Ponza. And I forget what match 2 was off the top of my head. It was... I can't remember. But anyway. Overall, Infect's still feeling all right. You know, it's got potential, but it also just absolutely can get hosed by two of the most strong decks in Modern right now are both Ponza and Jund. So it feels not great from that sense. Yeah. I mean, if you really love Infect, you can definitely keep running with it. It's a deck that is always going to be powerful. It can turn 2 people out of nowhere. It can win out of nowhere using Force of Vigors. It's got game against just about everything. It's just some of the decks that are very popular in Modern right now, it has a hard time with.